Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to try a cultural feast of Mexican tacos for dinner. So to begin with, we're going to get our vegetables prepped. So as always, with any veggies that you get from the store, you should always wash them first before we cut them up. So we'll go quick rinse with this pepper and the lettuce. Now, sometimes you have to improvise a little bit along the way. So the recipe actually calls for 2 Roma tomatoes diced. I have some cherry tomatoes I need to use up, so I'm going to use up my cherry tomatoes. And if you don't like tomatoes on your tacos, then don't even bother including it in what you're making. Toppings should be what you want, and the nice thing about a taco is you can make it to what you like. So we're going to dice them, which means we want them into small little pieces. So basically with these cherry ones, I'm just going to quarter them. So as I cut them, I'll put them into the bowl here. So there's no sense buying other ingredients just because the recipe calls for it. Need a little common sense every once in a while as we're cooking. Just because the recipe says Roma tomatoes, but I have cherry tomatoes, those work. They don't have to be exactly the same thing that you include. Alright, that'll be enough. My husband doesn't like tomatoes, so it would just need. Alright, next I'm going to cut up a pepper. I don't even have a pepper on my recipe, but in our household we like to put some diced peppers on our tacos. So first of all, I'm going to cut the pepper in half. I'm always going to have a garbage bowl on hand so I can put my garbage pieces in so it's not all over my countertop. I'm going to cut at the core of the pepper and inside rib there. Get all the seeds cleaned out. Do that with this half as well. Go. So next, I just need to cut the pepper now into long, thin strips. And those strips I will now slice again so that are now diced pieces. Into a bowl. Alright, shredded lettuce. So to shred your lettuce, and again it said to have green leaf lettuce. I have only romaine lettuce. I'm not going to go buy more ingredients when I don't really need them. So I'm just going to use my romaine lettuce here to shred it. You're basically just cutting very thin strips of your lettuce. So just bunch it all together in a pile and then take your knife and cut thin strips. Down to the end here, it's all pouring. I'll put that into my garbage bowl. And then my shredded pieces here will now go into my bowl. Alright, so lastly, for my prep, I have the onion. Now onions, we always want to start cutting from the stem end towards the root. So first of all, I'm going to cut off the stem end here. Then at the root end here, I'm going to take off a very fine little slice just to get off that dirty portion. Put that into my bowl. Then I'm going to place the onion flat side down on the cutting board, and I'm going to slice right through the center of that root. Now that I sliced through the root, I can now see my outer layer here to peel off and take off this outer layer of the onion. Alright, so the root is still attached. I'm just taking off that peel there. There we go. Do the other side as well. Now to dice my onion, I'm going to make long thin cuts all the way from one side to the other towards the root, but not cutting through that root. Okay. I'm just using the point of my knife, so I'm not starting with my knife here. So my point is right near the end there at the root. So a lot of control in what I'm cutting. There we go. So nice long thin slices all the way through. Do that for both halves of the onion. Now, for each of these halves, I'm going to now just slice, and as I slice, it will now fall into nice little diced pieces. Let's get them all in the bowl. There we go. Now the onion is all diced. We'll be using some of this with the meat, and then the rest of it can be used as topping, or you can store it in the fridge for other uses, whether you're making an omelet or spaghetti sauce or whatever else you might be using later on. You certainly don't have to put the whole onion in what you're making for the tacos. All right. So the next step is we need to get our what we're going to be putting our filling into heated up. So you can either use tortilla wraps for a soft taco, or you can buy the hard shells. If you're doing the tortilla wraps, they take a little bit longer to warm, so they need to warm for about 20 minutes in the oven, whereas the hard shells only need about 5 minutes. So you want to preheat your oven up to 325. And whatever you're going to use, you're going to wrap up in foil. So if you're going to be using some soft shells, you're going to take those and put them into your foil wrap, and just fold your foil over them. Make sure they're completely covered. If they're not completely covered, they'll dry out. So just fold in the edges to seal them in there. And then they can go into the oven. Same with the hard shells. They should be wrapped up in foil as well, but they go in about 5 minutes before you're ready to use them. Okay, so now we're ready to do the taco filling. So to begin with, you need to preheat your skillet over medium heat. We're going to add a half tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to add a pound of ground beef. quarter of that onion that way, guys. Now we're going to continuously stir this. So it doesn't burn on the bottom. So while this is browning, we can get the ingredients that are going to go in here, get them ready. So we need a half cup of water. I'm just going to throw my spices in that measuring cup there. Alright, so we're going to be putting in for our spices a teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of paprika, a quarter teaspoon of salt, stir, alright, so half teaspoon of pepper, and 1/8 of a teaspoon, which is half of a quarter teaspoon of crushed red peppers, or red pepper flakes. We're also going to need 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. So we're going to continue stirring this until this is all nicely browned. Alright, so when you can no longer see any more pink in the meat, it's now cooked through enough. And it's going to simmer still for another 15 minutes. So you see the slightest little trace bit of pink, it's okay. It doesn't have to be overcooked. You don't want to start going dark brown because then it's going to be very hard and chewy. Alright, so we need to drain the excess fat out of this. So I'm going to get a bowl and a strainer. I just have my strainer sitting inside the bowl here. And I'm just going to pour all the contents of the pan into the strainer. And that way all the fat's going to go into the bowl. And then I can put the meat back in to my skillet. I'll just give this a little stir, make sure I get all the fat out of that. It's just my oven telling me it's at temperature. Alright. So put the meat back into the skillet. And you can see there was quite a bit of fat in there. So That's not going to be our food now. Alright, so to this I'm going to add all that seasoning mix. So it's like my own little taco seasoning mix. If you want to use the packaged taco seasoning mix instead, you can do that too. Or if you're missing one of the spices, or if you don't like it really spicy, you can always modify your spices as you're cooking. That's not a big deal. Alright, so we need 2 tablespoons of tomato paste in this. Scoop that. Find a little rubber scraper is the best way to get it out of a measuring spoon. Another one. And then we also need to add a 1/2 cup of water. So we're just going to mix this until it's all thoroughly blended. And then we're just going to let this simmer for 15 minutes. So all the water pretty much evaporates and you have a nice coated meat mixture for your tacos. Alright, so the meat has now simmered for about 12 minutes. All the water is out of it. It is ready to go. All nicely ready for our filling. All our toppings are ready for our taco dinner. So our shells have been heated in the oven. We already got our meat filling. We have our shredded cheese, the shredded lettuce, and the shredded tomatoes. A couple extras I've added in are some diced onion, diced peppers, got some nice homemade salsa, and some sour cream. Ready to enjoy our taco dinner. Hope you enjoy yours too. Remember to share some pictures. Have a good night. Bye bye.